Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening, everyone. What's going on? This is Chief with another video, just another build. Let me make sure I have audio on Facebook. Give me 1 second, please. Sounds like it. Good evening, good evening, good evening. All right, so I got audio on Facebook. I'm going to give you guys some time to get into the build. We definitely not going to be on here long enough or for a long time. Do me a favor, please. Let me know where you're tuning in from, what territory you're in. Put that in the comments, whether you're on YouTube or Facebook, and I'll give you a shout out. All right, my brother T Hawk, what the deal? What the deal? What the deal? Man, first things first, I want to acknowledge the ancestors and giving them thanks. We are living in a beautiful time, but it's a chaotic time, and I'll explain to you what I mean by this. All right, so I'm just gonna give a few more minutes, so more people could get into the build. All right. Otherwise, I'll just go ahead and do what I got to do, and then you'll catch the recording. The beauty about it is when you catch the recording, you'll actually be catching the live because you've seen it in real time. So that's amazing, isn't it? Okay. All right. So I'm gonna get started. All right. Like I said, listen to the replay. I was kind of like, browsing through TikTok. And me personally, I don't spend too much time, doing, too much of the browsing because I'm just so focused and I have to stay focused. I don't have a choice. You feel me? But I kind of paused a little bit and, just listened to a couple of conversations. And what's really happening right now is chaos. I think that's the best way to put it. It's chaos. See, whenever there's a transition, never expect the transition to go smooth. It's not going to go smooth, right? With what we call energy sometimes. And I'll explain to you what I mean by this. Our people, and when I say our people, so-called Black people, so-called African Americans, so-called Caribbeans, so-called West, I mean, all the different names we have been called, right? I'll explain something to you. We have been bitten down so much and so far where the entire world literally, was built on our backs. So we have been beaten down. We took a beating. Okay. And right now we are literally, you know, um, at the cusp of getting that full bit down to where we are actually standing up now. And that's what's going to determine our strength because everything is going to seem like, put it that way, everything is going to be against us. I'm not going to say that it is. I'm just saying it may seem that way. And there's a reason for this. All right. And I'm going to give you an analogy. If you are actually overweight, greetings, Goddess Empress, Everlasting Water. If you're overweight, right, and you want to lose weight, it's going to be probably one of the most difficult things to ever do or accomplish in your life. If you're obese and you want to lose weight and get back, kind of like healthy, all right, you're going to go through a period of chaos where you might want to stay. Tell yourself, convince yourself, I have to stay overweight, right? But then that other voice is telling you, no, I got to lose the weight because if I stay overweight, then I might lose my life. It's not healthy. It's not good for me. And a lot of the times, that voice is the one that prevails. That voice is the one that's most dominant. The voice that wants you to stay obese. You feel me? Why am I making this analogy in regards to our situation right now? A lot of us have been so, I want to use certain words, but I'm not going to. All right. So I'm going to fall back a little bit. Right. So let me rephrase that because I said it in my mind and then I had to pull it back because sometimes I could be a little blunt and I have to be very, very careful because I know a lot of people are very, very sensitive, especially now. Okay. So we have been beaten down so much that most people would rather stay down because they have gotten so used to staying down. Well, Chief, why would I want to, do all of this when I could just remain black or I could just remain African American? It's much easier. Why would I want to do this when I could just go ahead and get up at 8, 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the AM and work all day and come home, I'm tired, go to sleep and do it again? Why would I want to give that up? And I'm not sure what's going to happen. That's what I see with a lot of people right now, because I'm looking at TikTok. I'm looking at a few different platforms. And these people provide these platforms, and yes, they tell you, well, you could monetize your videos and you could do all these things. And people spend all day on there trying to make a buck. Now, don't get me wrong. Some people are making money and that's fine, but I'm talking to my people. And when I say I'm talking to my people, I'm talking to the American Indians, the so-called black people, the so-called African Americans, the so-called Afro-Caribbean. You know what I mean? I'm not going to beat the dead horse. We're not from Africa. We're not going to get into this right now. We know who we are, for those of us who know. And there's enough information and enough videos out there for people who don't know to look at. I want to talk about that internal battle, the struggle that's actually within. Because a lot of you are coming out of the I am black phase, the I am African American phase, the I am we from Africa phase, and you're still finding yourself. And that is the most difficult thing to do, that transition. You feel me? But you're going to hear that voice, and you're going to hear run into certain platforms, and they're going to sound so convincing that you're going to fall back into thinking that you were brought here as slaves from Africa. Well, I'm just here to tell you this evening, and that's what this video is about. Don't let up. Don't give up. You feel me? Why did I mention the jobs and all of that? Let me tell you why. We don't see the big picture ahead. We don't see the prize ahead. We don't see the abundance ahead. What do I mean by this? We have an entire continent that's ours. We have abundance that we cannot even measure. You feel me? But because of the distractions, the hardship, the bills, the light, the telephone, the cable, clothes, food, all these things were put in place to make sure that we stay distracted and that we stay on the plantation and not focus on restoring our birthright. And that's what's happening right now. Let me tell y'all something. If we want this to change by next week, we could change the entire paradigm of our existence, our reality in the United States and all over the Americas in 1 week. You feel me? And of course, that's not for everybody. I'm talking about for the ones that literally just stay distracted. My brothers and sisters, let me explain something to you, right? I have never heard Native Americans be so outspoken on any social media. It's like literally they were non-existent before all of this started taking place. All of a sudden, they're so boisterous, even to the point where I'm hearing them calling our people who came on their platform at the live, calling them the N-word. They got comfortable calling our people the N-word. So when they get to that point, you know what's happening. The truth is eating them alive. It's eating. So now they're getting out of pocket. It's eating them alive. You even have a bunch of Africans. I have never seen so many Africans on the internet, whether it's TikTok or Facebook or YouTube, forcing us to be Africans. So I'm telling you, don't give up. The ancestors will not allow you to give up. For those of you who want to give up, I'm telling you, it's going to be painful for you. And I'll tell you why. Because when you know the truth, you cannot go back. When your eye, I'm not saying eyes, but when your eye, let your eye be single. When that single eye has been opened, you cannot go back. And if you try to go back, it's going to be very painful, very, very, very painful. So we are going through a chaotic period right now. But at the same time, we are preparing ourselves for the golden age. And in the golden age, we are the ones that have to bring that into fruition. Nobody else but us. Other people may provide avenues, but we are the ones that have to be sitting at the table. You feel me? So let's stay focused. I encourage you to don't pay attention to the distractions. If you got to take, cotton balls or tissue, wet tissue, and put it in your left ear and put it in your right ear, and so you could block out the noise and just focus on what's within your own mind. Know that you are the original man or woman. Know that we are the people that we call Indians. You see, everybody's, even Africans are here talking about now. Okay, not all Africans. Okay, so I just got to make that disclaimer, right? But the ones on TikTok and all these different places, you feel me? They are the ones that's talking. Oh, well, if you was the native people, why you don't speak the language? Well, there's a reason for that. You see, people miss the spiritual implications of all of this. And that's why it was important for me to write that book, to break it down and let you know why all of this had to happen. But these people, they have not elevated to the level of understanding to comprehend spiritual things, because you see, the physical mind cannot comprehend things of the spiritual realm. The reason why we had to forget everything, the reason why we had to lose everything, the reason why we had to get to the bottom of the bottom of the bottom, the reason why we had to be last is because we were the first. You see, they cannot take away the prophecies. They cannot take away what was meant to happen. We manifested here on earth first. No matter what they tell you, all of this is going to come out to light pretty soon. Like I told y'all before, I've always been ahead of my time. Always been. And that's why everybody was trying to take out the first. Everybody was trying to take out the first. You feel me? Everybody. And that's what the concept of Pharaoh is. Pharaoh or Egypt, the concept of Egypt means bondage. And the leader of Egypt is Pharaoh. And that's why Pharaoh wanted to kill the firstborn. You see, it's all allegory. That's what it is. It's an allegorical story. We were in Egypt. We are in Egypt. What does it mean? It means bondage. Of course, they made those things physical places, but it's all internal. It's within us. It's within you. So what we have to do right now, even if we are still in bondage at some point and we're in turmoil right now, you have to dig deep within you. And you have to awaken the allegorical Moses. You have to awaken the allegorical Joseph, so that you're able to part that Red Sea and get out of Egypt. That Exodus. You feel me? The Exodus is not leaving our motherland. No. The Exodus is coming out of the system and standing on our own. Our people, so-called black people, whatever you want to call us, right? We spend over $1.5 trillion every single year, and we give it to the corporation. It is time that we unite. I cannot stress that enough. You feel me? We don't need to be on these platforms debating anybody. All we have to do is show up, and the door will be opened. Our place is already waiting for us, because the people that was taking our place, the people that they had in our place, they're starting to feel uncomfortable now. You know, the real ones are coming. So they're getting disrespectful. I dare any Native American or anybody, for that matter of fact, to call me the N-word in my face. It would be a problem. So they're starting to get disrespectful. You feel me? Even that little bit of that live I listened to for like about 10 minutes, which was 10 minutes too much, because you got to know certain things, what's happening and what's, you just got to study certain things. Even one of the African guys calling one of our brothers that said he was Choctaw, He calling him the N word. They're starting to get out of pocket. You feel me? But you see, what these people don't realize is this. All over the Americas, we are the strongest people on the planet. And they know this. And they don't want the wild Indians, the real ones. In fact, there's only one. But they don't want the wild Indians. They don't want to turn this into something physical. Because we built all of this. And we could build it again, if you know what I mean. I don't have to spell it out for you. You did? You see all the gang members that we got? Those are actually our soldiers. I can't wait for them to wake up. Realizing that all the dances we are doing, the crip dances, the bogu, all the different type of dances, that's all American Indian dances. It could never be imitated because there's no soul in anything else that the others do. You feel me? So I can't wait for the so-called gangbangers and the gangsters and all, the thugs that they call those people. You feel me? To realize that they're not each other's enemy. That they realize that this was learned behavior. It was all part of the self-destructive ways that they taught us so that we could lose ourselves. But don't worry about it. They're going to wake up when the time is right. I guarantee you that. You feel me? You're going to see the music start to change because it will change. So I'm asking you, you may feel discouraged, okay? You may feel like you've been beaten down, and yes, we have been beaten down. But the beauty about getting beat down is that the universe don't like bullies. You feel me? And I keep telling you, life is fair. And life is so fair that we were the first ones to enslave the world. We were the first one to bring knowledge to the world. We were the first one to take advantage of the world. We did. We. See, a lot of you probably don't know this. And that's why life is fair. Because we did our share of the dirt. You feel me? And us becoming last, that was part of the karma for being first. It's okay. Because the prophecy have been fulfilled. And these fools don't realize we had to lose everything, including our languages. You did. The only thing we could not lose was our soul, because you can't lose your soul. You can't. You may misplace it, but you can't lose your soul. So we have always had our soul, because our soul is what's going to take us back home. And that's one thing they couldn't take. Misguided, yes. The soul can be misguided, but you can't lose the soul. So once our people start regaining the soul of who we are, I'm telling you, it's going to be a problem. And it's going to be one of two things. It's either, they make room for us to step back into our place and receive and get back our inheritance, or it's inevitable. It's going to be bloody. You feel me? And that's just what it is. Because when it happened, there was blood. And I'm asking the ancestors, let's see how we could make this happen with not so much bloodshed like it was before. But sometimes it is what it is. You feel me? It is what it is. So we got to stay focused. Stop being distracted. I've been talking to my people for a very long time right now. Okay? And I could go on and say, well, hey, if we had done this, if we had did that. No need to cry over spilled milk. We cannot go back into the past physically and change anything. And I've said this before, we can't go into the future and change anything physically. But what we could change is now. We have now. Every second count. There shouldn't be any second of the day that your thoughts aren't on getting back our birthright. My brothers and sisters, we don't have to fight for, fight for the block. We ain't got to fight for the hood. We don't have to do that. You feel me? We don't have to go beg people for jobs. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not knocking everybody who got a job right now. By all means, go to work, pay your bills, feed your family. But I want you to know that we already have a continent in abundance. And those little things, they're just distractions from keeping us from the bigger things. So they'll call us lazy. Oh, we don't want to work. We're not supposed to work. We are not supposed to work. We were a people in nature, living in nature, the wild Indians in nature. Nobody was working. I mean, well, if you call, growing food and making sure, the house is kept, if you call that work, then it is what it is. But we wouldn't, that's not what we do in nature. Well, how can I prove this? Go ask an animal what's its job. Go ask an animal what's its rent. Go ask an animal how much does it pay for water. Go ask an animal how much does it pay for food. But yet still, we're supposed to be the most intelligent beings or species, and we are here paying people's rent. We're out here buying people's food. We're out here buying people's water. My brothers and sisters, no, that's not life. That's the natural. So what I'm trying to get you to see, well, not trying to, what I'm getting you to see right now, and I hope you see it, is that sometimes we have to make the sacrifice and say, we're not going to do this. We're going to focus on what we need to do. You feel me? You're absolutely right, Zazie. A duty is not work, because we were the stewards of the land. We were the landlords. So therefore, we are supposed to take care of the land so that the land could take care of us. It was a symbiotic relationship. You feel me? But they started taking our people away from the jobs, put our people in the cities and give them the illusion, oh, well, that's the life. And then they put these celebrities, to show you the bling bling and make you think, well, that's what life is all about. No, it's not. It's not. Let me tell you what wealth is. Wealth is when you are self-sufficient. Okay? Wealth is when you are growing your own food. Wealth is when we are not paying rent. Wealth is when we learn to harness energy from the sun. That's wealth. Wealth is when we have a community, the village, that's going to raise our children. Do you know why relationships and families, the family structure was much structured and stronger the further back we go into our history? It is because we had the village. We had the village. You feel me? There was no such thing as a single mother. That's a new concept that was introduced to separate our people and cause animosity between the father and the mother. And they created a court system for the women to get so bitter that that's all they focus on. Let me see how much money I could get from you and squeeze you, but at the same time, you can't see your child. You feel me? It is all part of the plan. And our women fell for the trick. You dig? Let me explain something to y'all in our culture. Okay? The children always stayed with the women because the men always went out for 6 months at a time, sometimes 6 months, a year sometimes. Okay? And even when the sons turned a certain age, they would step into the same practice and going out with the men while the women stayed home and learned how to cultivate. That's why it was our women that gave the world civilization in terms of all these different things, because they were home and they were creative, because that's just what it is. You feel me? And that's what the foreigners saw when they came here. And they was like, nah, that can't work. That can't work. So when a man wasn't around, there was no concept of a single mother, because the village was there, and that was part of the culture. So there was no need for animosity to, to creep in into the woman's mind. Hatred, anger, stress, because the family was there, the village was there. You feel me? Part of the culture was, it was okay for a man to have plant his seed. That's what a man is supposed to do. Plant his seeds. You as a woman, your time, it cuts off. And therefore the man could continue planting his seed. That was the culture. But the family, the village was there. The community was there to raise the children. So all I'm just saying is, I'm not here trying to tell you, well, hey, let's just go around and start having all these babies. No, we can't do that, because there was structure. Okay? There was food. There was land. We were not paying bills. So I don't encourage, I'm not saying this to encourage dudes to go out there and just have children and leave the women raising the children alone. That's reason to get bitter. That's reason to be upset. You feel me? So it goes both ways. If you're going to have these children, take care of your children. And my sisters, if they're going to take care of the children, even if things don't work out between y'all, don't be bitter and keep the children away from them. You see the result of that type of behavior, where our children, they end up. We have to, this is the reparation that we are going through right now. The reparation is the repair. You have to repair yourself. You have to heal yourself. That's what we are going through. And then we'll get the redress. Then we'll get the rewards. But nobody wants the reparation. They think reparation is a form of money. No, because nobody taught us financial literacy. So you're going to take the money and you're going to blow it. In less than a year, you're going to be broke again. So money, fiat currency is not the answer. Self-work, self-evaluation. That's what reparation is, to repair. And then once we have done this, then we could get the rewards. You know why? Because the rewards will just open up themselves and present themselves, because you did the internal work. The only way for things to manifest on the outside is to do the work on the inside. It's the only way it's going to happen. But you're looking outside of yourself for things, but you haven't done the work on the inside. It's like having a house. Outside your house is posh. I mean, you got the beautiful lights outside. You have the cars outside the yard, but when you go in your house, it's dirty. You got roaches, you got rodents, you got rats. The sink is full of dishes. Dirty underwears on the floor. Your house is in chaos, but outside the house, you're flossing. It's the same thing. You feel me? You have to heal yourself. We don't have to pretend to the world that it's all good. We don't have to pretend. Let's work on ourselves. Form little groups and talk to each other. It's okay to be vulnerable among people that you trust. We don't have anybody to talk to. All we have is ourselves. So at times we got to get together and not be judgmental, but learn to listen and talk. And that's why I do it all the time. You feel me? Because I know our people sometimes need to reach out. They just want to hear a voice. They don't have nobody to talk to. The journey could be lonely. So I'm asking you, don't give up. Don't give in. Be strong. We are actually on our way. And no matter what you hear, learn to tune the noise. Learn to tune it out sometimes. But it all begins with you and it ends with you. The question remains, are you going to allow yourself to keep getting distracted? You got to be laser focused. Keep your eyes on the prize. My brothers and sisters, we have an entire continent that's ours. We don't need to be in all these cities. I mean, I'm in New York because I'm doing work. You see what I'm doing? I'm working. I'm doing these things. right? But we should have a whole lot of people working on land. We got a couple of people that's already doing that. You feel me? The city life is cool. It's all right. But we could come visit the city. We should be in places where we, again, is self-sufficient, where we have a community and the community come together and we focus on paying the bills of the entire community. So therefore, everybody will learn to save some more money. The community pay the bill for the entire community, the light, the gas, you know what I mean? All the things that we need to pay, the community will pay that. We come together once a month, all right? And we say, okay, you know, the bills for the community is such and such. Everybody pitch in, and then we pay it. So you don't have to have that burden on your own. You want some time to yourself. We have the village. We have a community center. The children could be in there learning about their culture, being creative, so that you don't have to be stressed out. You have more time to take care of yourself, work on yourself, heal yourself. We could do all of this. You know, we can. What's stopping us? We are the ones stopping ourselves because we choose to be individuals. We want to individualize ourselves so much. It's hindering us from moving forward as a collective. And that's the problem. I'm humble enough to be part of a community and play my part. Can you? We have been the laughing stock for too long. Too long. May I remind you, the world know who we are. You think these natives don't know who we are? They're actually in denial right now. They're going through their own chaos. They're going through their own karma. You dig? So all I'm just saying is this. Don't matter what you're going through right now. It could be tough, but don't give up. I'm going to share something with y'all that I haven't shared. Only a few people know this. Okay? Only a few people know this. And when I say a few, I mean a few. Let me explain something to y'all. I'm a very motivated and determined man. I'm self-made with the assistance of my ancestors that's been guiding me from day one. Okay? I've been on my own since I was a teenager. Grew up in Brooklyn. And I grew up in a part of Brooklyn, and it's called the 90s. And I'm talking about the 90s in the 90s. All right? I stayed on East 94th. East 94th, and then a few years later I moved to East 96, but it was the 90s in the 90s. And in the 90s, as per in the 1990s, not the street, you know, the police was afraid. The police afraid to come in the 90s. That's how bad the community was. I'm talking about every single day somebody was dying in the 90s. Gangs all over the place, shootings all over the place. People were afraid to walk. And I told that story before. All right. And we had to protect ourselves. And I wasn't no gang. I was never a part of any gangs, but I always had the respect of the gangs. I was always around them, and it doesn't matter which gang, they always showed me love and gave me respect. Everybody was trying to pull me to the left, pull me to the right, asking me to join gangs. But I knew I had my own mind. I tuned out the noise, and I never joined a gang. And they respected me for this. You feel me? But it got to the point where it got so bad, I had to protect myself, meaning that I bought a gun to protect myself. And I'm talking about in the 90s. It was so bad. And I remember one time I was by they had payphones then, right? I was by the payphone, and every day, we would be just hanging out on the corner. We young, we ain't doing nothing, right? And there was this one dude, always like a bully, and he wanted to come test me, yo. And I told him, yo, listen, I'm just here chilling, leave me alone, whatever the case is, right? Me and him got into a little tussle, and I almost had to do some things, right? But because I wasn't scared, me and him became best friends, right? But the moral of the story, what I'm telling you is this. I was on the phone one day making a call, and then Giuliani had gotten in office. And Giuliani said, we cannot have the police afraid to go into any community in Brooklyn. We are going to shut everything down. And it was a war on gangs, a war on crime. Giuliani was determined to clean up the city. You feel me? So one afternoon, okay, I think I might have been like 18 or 19 or something. One afternoon, I'm on the corner. I got a 9mm in my waist. All right. Never shot at nobody in my life, but I got it. I had it for protection. Okay. The police pulled up in a caravan. It was about 8 of them in a caravan. And when they pulled up, it was 15 of us on the corner who's making calls, who just joking around, talking, whatever the case is. The police told everybody, go up against the wall. All 15 people on the block. A couple of guys ran. All right. So it was about 13, 12 that got pulled up against the wall. Both hands on the wall, brick walls. Okay. Some of them on the phones, because they had about 6 phones on the corner on against the buildings. And that's on East 96th and Church Avenue, right? And I was like, I think I was in the 5th or the 6th spot. And the police started from number 1. It was the sergeant, okay? And they had a captain, and they had a couple of rookies, and they had 2 other officers still in the van, all right? Anyway, they had hands on gun and everything. So they was like, everybody go against the wall. And they started searching from the captain and the sergeant was what they watching, 2 of the officers search individuals. All right. They searched the first individual. And I got a 9mm in my waist. All right. And I'm about to go to the bathroom on myself because now I'm scared. All right. Never been to jail. Never shot a gun in my life. You feel me? That person was good. The second person getting searched. And my knees are starting to buckle because I just know I was going to go to jail. All right. The third person got searched. When they was about to go to the 4th person, I heard a call on the radio. Something happened on Church Avenue and East 54th. And the sergeant said, we got to go. Let me tell you something. That very, 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 very same day, I went to my uncle and I gave him the gun. I say, I don't want that. Do what you want to do with it. I don't want it. All right. From that day, I never touched a gun in my life until I went to Missouri in the mountains. When I went there for 6 months. All right. To meditate and whatever I had to do. And of course, we wasn't open land. So, shooting on the land. But I'm talking about in the hood. I left that alone. All right. Why am I telling you that story? I'm telling you this because you have to know yourself enough to know when you have to straighten yourself out. You cannot allow yourself to go too far. You feel me? You cannot allow yourself to fall off. And I have all the respect, even up to today. I see people in the hood and they say, yo, man, I respect you. I respect you. Because I remember when you was young, you didn't want to be a part of no gangs and people respected you. You feel me? But that's not what I want to share to you that's personal. What I want to share to you that's personal is this. At that very age, at a very young age, I know there was something different about me. I knew I was going to do something in life. Okay? And that's what's been guiding me, preparing me for everything I had to go through. You feel me? And I always had visions and dreams. because ancestors always came to me. I didn't always know what it meant, but they would come to me, they would talk to me. They still do today. Even earlier today, all right, I was literally in the car sitting down, and they literally, my forehead, where, started to pulsate, because my pineal gland, my third eye always pulsates. All right, it's like literally like it's about to pop. It happens to me all the time. And as soon as that happened, my ancestors came into my head and gave me some messages. As soon as they gave it to me, I came home and I did what they wanted me to do, put it down on paper, and I left it alone. But going back to what's personal to me, let me explain something to you, okay? When you are chosen to do certain things, always remember this, that there's an opposing side that's trying or always making an attempt to take you down. But because you are protected and because you are strong, they're going to take the closest thing to you. And you guys know I have a son. I've never told you this story before. But the reason why I choose to tell you is because I meditated on that earlier. And my ancestors told me it's okay to tell the people. Let them know. And nobody would know that I went through this except for a few people, very few people. One or two of them is actually on this call right now that know what happened. And there were a lot of energies coming to take me down. And I told y'all about one of them before. It was so bad that it literally almost paralyzed my entire right side. That's how much I've been attacked because of what I do and who I am and what I'm going to accomplish. They don't want me to do it. So they can't touch me. They can't touch me, but they touch the closest thing to me, my son. I love my son. I raised my son. You feel me? I fought for that boy. Even when, things didn't work out between me and his mom, and she, even if I was a good dad, still put me on child support. I learned law. I beat that. I took myself off, off of child support until they put her on child support. The point I'm making is I fought for my boy. And I did not want my son to be part of no gangs. That's why I had him in karate. He wanted to do karate. Sure, Daddy, I want to do karate. Great. Do it. I paid for it. I put him in private school, $430 every single month. Still got the receipts since he was 2 years old. You feel me? I kept my receipts. Not to show him, but I know how the system worked. So everything that I bought, I kept the receipts. He wanted to learn, and then he so it was private school, then it was karate, lost interest in karate. Then he wanted to do parkour. I paid for parkour. He lost interest in that. He wanted to learn basketball. I got him a coach. Lost interest in that. He wanted to learn boxing. Got him a coach. Paid for a coach to teach him. He lost interest. And the streets, because his cousins, one of his cousins is a famous rapper. So that's what he wanted to do. Rap with the drill music and the trap music. And I kept talking to my son. I said, son, if you look at our family, you see what on the other side, I see how chaotic it is, but you on this side right here, you're safe, son. You don't need to be affiliated with those things. You know what I mean? But he wanted to be like his cousin, always hanging. I don't smoke weed. I don't drink none of that. And he knew he couldn't do that in my house. You feel me? But yet still, the other side was trying to pull him on the other side with the little voices in his head. Your daddy's a deadbeat. Well, how can your daddy be a deadbeat when your daddy raised you? My son never had breast milk. You feel me? But he got pulled into that world. And then he got caught up with his cousins trying to rap and the gun thing and the weed thing, trying to chase that dream, that fantasy life. All right? About a year and a half ago, okay, about 2 Mother's Day ago, I got a call. All right? Because I don't associate with the other side. I don't like dealing with negativity. You feel me? I got a call. Your son has been arrested. And I'm trying to figure out what's going on. I don't talk to the other side. The other side only call me when things go down. Look on the news. My son got caught up in a raid in Brooklyn, a sting, 32 people, gangbangers, because his cousin is a famous rapper. The bail was $2 million. $2 million. That's how serious it was. You feel me? It broke my heart. Even up to this day, it's eating me up. But I guarantee you, none of you could never even realize that I was going through this or even knew it happened. Well, of course, like I said, one or two people on here. And immediately, my ancestors came to me and told me what happened. Chief, because of who you are, because of what you do, and what we have in store for you, the others, they couldn't touch you. So they had to touch the closest thing to you. You feel me? And that's what happened. Up to this present day, my son is still in that system. But nobody knows, because I come here every day. I talk to you. I teach you because I'm focused. It's not that I don't care for my son. I love my son. But I have a bigger purpose. And that's that. And to me, that was a test. It was a test. You see, when you know the truth and what the truth is, and you know who you are, and you know your purpose, it doesn't matter what it is or who it is. You are not going to allow that situation or that individual to prevent you from your purpose for the bigger picture. If you know what I mean. You feel me? So there's two messages in this. The first one is this. Talk to your children. Protect your children. Because I did. But what's going to happen is this. Whatever has to happen will happen, and you can't stop it. If you were a good parent, you were a good dad, a good mother, and your son or your daughter ended up in the same situation, forgive yourself because you did everything you were supposed to. What we must realize is this. Every individual came here to have their own experience. And when you are a God, you see things from a God perspective. What does that mean? You see things for what they truly are and what they are meant to be. And nothing that I could have done differently would have prevented him from being in that situation. Nothing whatsoever. That was his path. His path was a test to my strength, to see if I would give up, to see if I would break. Because the ancestors put me here to accomplish something for my people. And every single day, I've been going through this. It's been eating me up on the inside. Every other week I'm in court. But did you know? No. But the chief came and still taught you, read books, did research, calling people. People call me, I'm talking to them about their problems, and on the inside, I'm burning, I'm hurting on the inside because they took my son. But you don't know because I'm talking to you with love and from love. You feel me? So that's the first part of this message is this. For all the young men and women that think that that life is the best life for them, let them know it's not. You feel me? It's not. It only ends in one or two ways. It's either you end up in jail or you end up dead. And I'm just thankful to my ancestors that he ended up in jail instead of being dead. I know that's a crazy thing to say, but that's a lesson that he had to learn. You feel me? That's a lesson that he had to learn. And I could talk to y'all right now. The funny thing about it is, right? I had my little funds aside to do what I had to do, building, working with my people. I had to take all of that. I'm not going to say exactly how much, but it was way over $10,000. My entire savings, just to give it to a lawyer to help my son. 2.5 months into the situation, the other side said, oh, well, I want another lawyer. When I said the other side, I'm not going to, you know what I'm talking about. I want another lawyer. Your lawyer ain't doing nothing. I'm going to get my own lawyer. So basically all that money went down the drain. Can anybody on Facebook or YouTube tell what I was going through? No, no. There were days when all I had was a banana. Did you know that? There were days when I had to fast intentionally because I couldn't afford anything to eat. And I'm talking about in recent times. Did you know that? No, you didn't. But yet still, I came and did videos to teach you. And I'm not saying this to impress you. I'm saying this to impress upon you because I'm focused. I'm focused because I know the abundance is not too far ahead. This is our land. It's our birthright. So sometimes you don't know what people are going through. They have the smile, but they're tearing up on the inside. You feel me? Because they're selfless. They put themselves last just to make sure that everybody else is good. I could have had a 9 to 5. If I had a 9 to 5, then I couldn't do what I'm doing. Because what I'm doing, it takes a lot of my time. It takes a lot of energy. Just because I want my people to get out of the rut that they're in. It's not about the money to me. If it was, I would be trying to make sure I get money from my videos, monetize the videos. I would be a content creator. I'm on TikTok. Everybody want to go viral and content. No, I'm on TikTok to teach my people. I don't care if I don't make a dime. You feel me? I don't care about that. I care about us getting back our birthright. That's the only thing I'm focused on. And if I have to be broke to do it, I will be broke. If I have to be financially challenged to do it, I will be financially challenged. My eyes is on the prize, and the prize is our birthright, and that's our land. And that's why I keep pushing. Let's unite. All we got to do is show up. They know who we are. We don't have to beg anybody for anything. We are not supposed to be working in our land. The deal was supposed to be this. We are the original people and everybody else pay taxes and we get a cut from it. But we didn't get a cut from it. We got cut out of it. And I'm mad. I'm pissed. So when I keep telling y'all, you guys saw me grow. You feel me? People see me, for those who know, they saw me, that's been with me for 20 years and more. I went from Netherlex, with my entertainment days. People wanted to use that against me. My own people that call themselves American Indians. You feel me? So people don't know the sacrifices that I've made for you, my people. You see, y'all don't know. Y'all don't know. And then ancestors started to wake me up. Came, gave me my name in a vision. I told y'all how it happened. How I became flying eagle in a vision, a dream. Heard an eagle screaming in my kitchen. I got up in the sleep, went to the kitchen. And I saw a baby eagle on the refrigerator with no feathers. And it's screaming hysterically and I don't know what to do. Somebody touched me on my shoulder. I looked up and it was one of my ancestors who looked like me. So that's why I know who we are. Had their feathers and spoke to me. Said, Chief, the bird wants you to feed it. And I'm like, I don't have no feathers. I mean, not feathers. I don't have no food to feed the bird. Then they pointed to the floor and I seen a little stock of refined food. So I picked it up and started to feed the eagle. But the food was falling through my fingers. And the bird was screaming more hysterically, and I'm getting nervous and I'm scared. I can't save the eagle. Then the ancestor touched me again. It was an ancestor one. Touched me again on my shoulder, looked up. Chief, the bird wants you to feed it. I said, but ancestor, there's no food. What am I going to do? Pointed in the corner. I saw, it looked like worms. I picked it up and I started to feed the eagle. And all of a sudden, the feathers on the eagle started to grow, and the eagle started to grow, and the feathers got longer and longer, and the eagle got bigger and bigger until it popped open the cage and it flew away. Now, mind you, it's like I was sleepwalking, all right? And then the ancestors came to me and told me, that's your name, Flying Eagle. But they also told me that wasn't enough. So I was seeking and searching to complete the name, because it was just Chief Flying Eagle. So because I was born in Dominica, and the original people in Dominica are the Caribs, but they changed. Well, well, pretty much the Caribs, the Arawaks, and the Tainos, they're the same people, just different identities, because that's what the colonizers did to separate the people. You feel me? It's like somebody calling themselves Choctaw or Chickasaw, whatever the case is, but they're the same people. You feel me? So with that being said, I was like, you know what? Maybe I should just embody the entire Kalinago, just to show representation. And I made it very clear that I was not the chief of the Kalinago. I just took the name to embody the name of the ancestors. All right. And that was cool for a while. But the ancestors came to me in a vision and told me, no, chief, you got to elevate from that, because they showed me that the name Kalinago was not the original name. The Caribs and the Kalinagos are two different people. The Caribs are the original people that are so-called black people. But the Kalinagos are the mixed people that look like the natives. They did the same thing in the islands. And they asked me to let that name go, and I let it go. I let it go. And then I took up another name that came to me in a vision. I am an American. So I took the name American, and I did some spiritual work on that to test the strength or the energy of that name. And it was what was given to me. And I took it. You feel me? I took that. It's a journey, my brothers and sisters. It's about growth. What you were yesterday and what you went through yesterday does not make you who you are today. It depends. You have a choice to allow it to make you or break you. And since I know the sun is life and the sun is Ra, I took on that name, but I didn't just take it. I asked for permission to take it. I was granted the permission to take it. And since Elohim means the Lord, the lords or the gods, and I'm one of the gods. And then I got my lordship in August, proclaimed the Lord. So I became Lord. I'm American, Flying Eagle, Ra Elohim. I'm going to the courts and change that officially. So it's a journey. It's a journey. Never gave up. No matter what I went through, I never gave up. Never got distracted. November passed, November 18th, 19th, whatever the case is, 5 years since I've been celibate. You think I don't miss the touch of a woman? You think you think I don't? I do. But I know I have to stay focused. I have to stay focused. So I have to make these sacrifices. And I've said this before. If I literally have to draw the private part of a woman right now, it might look like a duck. I forgot what it looked like. But I'm cool with that. You feel me? Because I know I was chosen for something. You know what I mean? And it's going to manifest itself. It's going to make itself known. But you have to be disciplined. You have to go. That's when you know you have ascended into your Christ consciousness. That's when you know you have become the Christ. Because you learn how to say, "Get thou behind me, Satan." So the journey is rough. The journey is tough. The journey can be a lonely one. It can be. But I know I'm not alone, because every time I come on here, you hear my voice. Whenever I come on here, I give you what I was manifested here to do. When I come in here and I teach you and I show you things, I'm serving my purpose. And that is the biggest gratification that any man or woman can have, is when you have found your purpose. I tell people like this: you could live life. And if you live life and you have never found your purpose, then you haven't lived. You haven't lived. You're literally experiencing the devil, because lived backwards is devil. So if you don't know how to live, you're going to experience evil, because evil backwards is live, and live backwards is evil. You see how it works? If you learn how to live, the evil can't touch you. It can't harm you. You dig? And if you have lived, then the devil wouldn't never touched you. It is really that simple. You feel me? So stay focused, stay strong, stay righteous. And it doesn't matter who come up against you. It doesn't matter what they say. You know who you are. And always, how do you know that you are righteous? Everything that you do in the dark, you should be able to do it in the light. And if you're doing things in the dark and you can't do it in the light, then you are not righteous. Because people are going to talk anyway. You do good, they're going to talk. You do bad, they're going to talk. Just be righteous. And that's what has kept me for all these years. It doesn't matter what they said about me. It doesn't matter what they try to say I do and I didn't do it. It was okay. And all these evil forces or these energies that came up against me, they couldn't touch me. And like I said before, they almost took me out by trying to paralyze my entire right body. But they couldn't touch me. So they had to take my son. They had to touch him. And then a few months ago, I had a vision. And he was in the vision. And I saw him in the vision. And I went to the jail to get him out of jail. And then the ancestors told me he wasn't ready. Y'all think this is a game? Because he did not learn his lesson. He did not learn his lesson. And then I spoke to him. I said, son, I hope you're learning your lesson. He said, yes, Dad, but I know he wasn't telling the truth because the ancestors told me that he didn't learn his lesson. And then about a month and a half to 2 months later, well, about a month and a half later, okay, another vision that he was in that vision. Feel me? He still wasn't ready. Still wasn't ready because I knew how to get him out. I knew what it took to get him out. But the other side did not want me to get involved to get him out. You feel me? So I'm saying all this to say, I already knew that he didn't learn his lesson. I already knew that he didn't learn his lesson. So I'm keeping forward. I'm keeping focused. I'm moving forward. I'm asking my people, let's unite. There's a bigger goal in all of this. There's a bigger purpose in all of this. And the purpose is something that you may not comprehend. You may not understand. You may not understand. You may not understand why you are going through all these things or what it is. Always focus on your why. You know what my why is? To restore our birthright. That's my why. And nothing else is more important than that. Nothing else, not even my own being, is more important than restoring my ancestors' birthright. That's what they sent me for. And I'm very obedient to them. I move when they ask me to move. You know, many people try to rush me to do things. No. I move when my ancestors ask me to move. So with that being said, man, I want to thank y'all for listening to me this evening. I really had to get this off my chest because, like I said, 1 or 2 people know, but you guys can't tell. How can you? Because every day I come on here and I teach you like nothing happened or nothing is happening. I don't ask you for a dime. In the midst of all that, my ancestors are still working with me where I wrote 11 books. Got a clothing line. I put all of that to the side. Promoting my own book for every day I was promoting, put all of that to the side to teach you and talk to you and tell you, let's come together and unite, because all that's secondary to me. What's important is our birthright. Because once we get the birthright, you feel me? We don't have to struggle. We don't have to pay bills. We don't have to buy food. We don't have to do none of that. We don't have to do that. That's why I'm asking you to see the bigger picture. Be selfless. Don't be selfish. Don't be distracted. Every single day, work towards where we need to go. Let's come together. Like I told y'all before, I already created the ark. The ancestors gave me the knowledge. They gave me the fortitude. They gave me the strength. They gave me the vigor to set up what was needed to be set up. And it's just in place waiting for the people to come and say, Chief, I'm ready. That's it. And I want you to know before I go. In fact, even before I go, Brother Gain, brother Gain related. I heard what you said about your son. You know what I mean? Like, my condolences, brother. You know what I mean? You know, and I always say, like, when one of our loved ones transition, you know, just know that we gain an ancestor. You feel me? Because we are not the flesh. And that's how I teach people how to ease that pain, knowing that we are not the flesh. So when they transition, they're just graduating to go to the next level or come back to learn what they missed the first time. So my brother, stay strong. We got work to do. You know, we cannot give up. That should be motivation for us to carry on. You feel me? That should be motivation. So in closing, I just want to say this. Know that you are special. It doesn't matter where you are. It doesn't matter what you have done. All of this is part of the experience. There's nothing you could have done different. Nothing you could have done different to give you a different result. It was part of a plan that you already put in motion. You put that in motion. Nobody else but you. And one day we'll remember everything that we signed up for and realize it was our choice because we had free will. Nobody forced us to do it. Right now, we are being forced to do things because these people are infringing on our free will. You feel me? But just know this. You manifested here for one or two things. To either be righteous or to be unrighteous. How do you know which one you literally manifested here for? Is when you are being righteous, you know. When you're being unrighteous, you know. And you know what seed that you come from. You know what tree that you came from. Some people came from the unrighteous tree. Some people came from the righteous tree. And how do you know? Is based on the fruits that you produce. Your actions, your words, what you do. If you realize, go look at my timeline, whether it's on YouTube, whether it's on Facebook. From day one, I've always been consistent. Always been consistent. Tell me how somebody could be fake for 25 years. The same message. I was just listening to a video I did in 2017, and I'm telling you the same thing today. I looked at a video I did in 2011. I'm telling you the same thing I told you in 2011. So I just want you to know this before I get out of here. Everybody's always looking for the real. Well, where are the real ones at? Let me let y'all know something. You've always had the real one, but you just never opened up your eyes to see. You've always had the real one, but you just never took the time to listen. But like I told y'all before, y'all gonna find out who this chief is. Just watch. Just watch. I want to thank each and every one of you for being a part of my journey, because my journey is your journey. I'm doing this for us to restore our birthright. Nothing else, nothing more. That's it. And if I have to do it with a dime in my pocket, I will. If I have to do it with $1 billion in my pocket, I will. It's not going to change who I am. I give you me, all of me. I've been doing that from day one. Always been selfless. Constantly having you on my mind. Because I know the truth. So with that being said, thank you for being a part of my journey. And thank you for allowing me to be a part of your journey. My email is always in the link below. The ark is already built. All I'm asking is come on home. Let's do this. And let's regain and reclaim our birthright. It's there waiting for us. And nobody can prevent us from getting it. It's our time. Don't focus on the distractions. and you will be just fine. And to all my brothers that's out here still gang banging, I hope you hear this message. That's not what we're supposed to be doing right now. You were supposed to be your brother's keeper and your sister's keeper. You feel me? Put down the colors, put down the flags. You feel me? And pick up the American Indian flag, our birthright. That's what we should be focused on right now. All right? So thank you. You guys are absolutely welcome. Enjoy the rest of your continuation. I know I told myself I wasn't going to be in here that long, but it is what it is. All right? My email is in the link below. Like I said, we're making moves. Let's come together and step up. All we have to do is show up. That's it. And watch things unfold. I guarantee you that. I've already seen the victory. I've already tasted it. Now it's time for it to manifest. All right? Happy sunrest. Thank you.